All right, good morning. Let's see if we have any audio now. Sometimes this thing acts crazy. I think it's good now. Seems to be aight. Oh, let's see if we can break this little bit of a London losing streak. See if we can't break the London losing streak tonight. I think we've lost the last two London sessions. See if we can't get it going in the right direction. Nice little sell off right here. Kind of coming into the 3 o'clock hour. Oh, man. Nice ripper to the downside. Nice little ripper to the downside. Let's kind of see what we've done. Since midnight. So we opened up here. Sold off. Chopped around. Made a new high. What's the overnight low? 680. See if it's going for the overnight low there potentially. See if it kind of turns that VWAP area into resistance for a little move down. We shall see. We shall see what happens. All right. Oh. Let's see what's going on with the ES. Looks like the ES bouncing off the 44.36 area. Ultimately, looks like you want to hold that 44.35 area there on the ES. Just kind of watching this area here. Kind of watching. I'm going to take a quick shorty here back down to the back down to that 700 level that we just bounced off of. Like to see that happen fairly quickly. All right, stop's going to be improper at this point since this is just kind of a scalp play. Be locking in some as we go here. There's $20. There's $40. Push down. You got more. You got more. Stopped us out for $40 right there. Alrighty. We locked in a winning trade right there, first thing. Right? That we did. Alright, let's see here. Let's kind of watch and see what we got going on. Alright, what do we think's the obvious draw here? Are we going to be going to the downside? I mean, probably it's kind of looking that way. Let's see here. Let me change into a little time frame, a little bigger time frame chart here so we can see. Possible move back down into that 680 area. Do we see any kind of a reason? Why we can't make it there? I don't really see anything keeping us from getting from that 680. So short term, I guess we're kind of bearish here. Short term. I mean, we're talking about a 30-point move down on the NQ, not anything to write home about. Let's kind of mark out some levels here just because if I don't, I might miss them. We do have this do we take it right here where it's at? What the hell? Don't know what I selected there. How do we take that off? Oh well, can stay on there for now. So the idea is that this one's kind of in the 50% range here, so maybe a trade back up into that 716 area. What am I doing? How am I drawing a shape there? We're not going to put the order on the book directly here. We're going to eyeball this, see how it kind of reacts to that area. Come on, did I miss that? All right, we're going to go ahead and take the entry here. Proper entry probably would have been 1650. I missed this little small 3-minute gap there, but that's okay. We're close enough. Close enough. I'm actually going to take that off. You know, I've taught myself, and this may just sell off here, but the problem I have with it is we're in the first 15 minutes of the hour. And a lot of times, actually these last 2 or 3 sessions during the London, especially, that first kind of move is not really the move. So as you can see, we actually have a shift in structure to the upside since 3 o'clock here. So if we leave this gap here, just if this candle closes, then I think we take this entry back to the upside. A couple different reasons why. Number one, we got the VWAP here, the SMA there. This looks much more bullish to me than it does bearish, even though we chopped around, sold off here. Like I said, that first 15 minutes is usually tries to get you on a little bit of a fake out, kind of a Judas swing or whatever you want to call it. So I think that might be what we got going on here. I mean, we do have this volume imbalance up here with this kind of little fair value gap there too on the 1 minute. But if we trade back into the VWAP, then I'm thinking of taking a long. Maybe we target the imbalance up here in the 20s. So not a huge move, right? But give us our 10 points that we need there. So something like that. Uh, 13. Could take it at 13 there on the 1 minute. I'd like to get tagged in here on the 2 minute though. 7. Well, do have a bit of an imbalance here that probably would be in a bit of a reach to think that it's gonna trade back to there. Could though. Bit of an imbalance there. We'll just leave it right here where it's at. Yeah, 22 seems reasonable. 10 handles. And we'll just take it with 2. And we'll take one off at 10 and kind of target the high a day with the other one. Move it to break even, see if it can get to it. That's kind of the idea there. See how high it can go there. I like it so far. Let's just get tagged in. Let's get tagged in first. So what are we risking here? 2 4 $600 on this trade. Well, see if we get tagged in here and see if we are on side. There's always that possibility that we're not, right? Really? You're going to one tick me there? Trade within one tick of my entry there. Oh, come on. If we're wrong here, I'd be surprised. We could still be. But we have kind of an inverted gap here that we've got marked out, aligning with a bullish gap with the VWAP and the SMA right below it. So a lot of reasons here for this thing to remain bullish. If it's not, it's just not. It's got to come back and get us right now. It's going to feel bad if it doesn't. I'm fighting the FOMO right now to just hop in. In fact, I may just go ahead and hop in with, well, I hate to do that. We'll hop in with one here. I guess we'll just add if it comes back. Not really how we're supposed to be doing it, but there is a potential this could trade up 9 or 10 handles before it kind of comes back, and so we will just take these little 6 or 7 handles right out the gate. That's what it decides to do. Trying to figure out where my stop really needs to be. I mean, we have that small. Man, I wouldn't think it would trade all the way back there, though, but we'll just leave it here for now. Because ultimately, if it breaks that 50% level here, we won't be too happy about it anyway. All right, let's remember 712. We're going to add one there. Actually going to add 2 there. See, that's what impatience gets you. Now we're risking 5 more handles on a single contract than we needed to there. But that's all right. If we get tagged in, that is. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Helps the channel. We appreciate it. We got a coupon code up in the banner up top. If you guys are interested in trading Apex, discount there, 80% off. Link in the description below. All right, we're tagged in there. See if we are correct here, if we're just offsides. Should know here pretty quickly. So our average cost right now is 713 instead of 712. So it didn't cost us too much, but just a bit annoying that my impatience got to me there. So we're going to take one off right there at 20. And the other one, second one, 22. Third one, kind of high day. That's our runner. If we get there. So let's kind of see what happens. Really want to see us hold that 710 area. That's where the VWAP is. Really want to see that side hold. Just watching this area. See how we react here to that VWAP. If we hold it or if it sells down. Kind of watching that 08, 07 area right there. We do have that small volume imbalance right there at the 08 to 09. Kind of right here where it's at right now. It already one tick down to it. So it's technically repainted it there. So we'd like to see it kind of bounce out of there from there. Did consider trying to take my entry here, but I thought that was a bit of a dream for it to come down that far, but of course it does. Like to see a spiky spike here, back to the upside. That would be ideal. See what we get. Get a strong push up through 20 there. Structure on the ES definitely looking bullish as well. Looking bullish to me, but I don't know. It can change minute to minute. Because when I first sat down, I was thinking short-term bearish, but we get a pop back above that 14-15 area, I'd feel better about it. But right now, I'm still in that 50-50 zone as to whether I'm just offsides or not. I'm in that possibly killing it zone here. But let's try to trust the trade if we can. Not in love with this kind of deeper retracement here. All right, I'm killing that there. I don't like that. I do not like it. I mean, now that I'm looking at it, I guess it could be coming down, right, to this 03 area to kind of bounce, but because we do kind of have, oh, excuse me, that one there. So I guess my idea for the short, see, I faked myself out there. So I entered short here at 14. Faked myself out. So I was just thinking back to previous sessions and how, you know, what happened there. Bounced right off that gap right there at 04. It's going to happen sometimes. Let's just see what we got. Kind of watching here. See if we're looking at a re-entry short here. If this is going to be a push back through here, back to the upside out of that gap. Out of that bottom gap. We did see that gap there, but I thought there's no way it's going to retrace that far. See if it's going to just sell back down here. Makes it above that VWAP, then that can kind of, it's unfortunate we closed this, but I took on 3 contracts and I didn't want to put my stop below this area here, 700, which is really where it needed to be. I didn't want to have that large of a stop on it, but this thing could roll right back over here. I feel like it's probably going to go, but all right, feels kind of bad, but let's take the entry. Goodness. See what we get here. See if this thing pushes above. We do got some resistance there at the VWAP, so kind of seemed like it was pushing through. And then it said, no soup for you. Not yet. I wouldn't be shocked if it trades back down in the 04 level, to be honest. I'm thinking this thing's going to sell off now. Now that I'm long again from almost the same spot. Just kind of watching something else off screen here, and it's looking like that should have been a bearish entry. But if we get above VWAP, I feel a little more better about it. But yeah, that's kind of where we need to do. We need to break that 12 area. Otherwise, it feels like we're just going to sell back down here. Could be wrong in 3 directions. That's hard to do. All right, I'm just going to take this off just because not liking it at this point. Let's wait for confirmation, kind of see what happens here. Just get the feeling based on what I'm seeing over here that this is going to sell back down. And now, of course, it could just sell down to the 04s and bounce out of there again, but I don't get that feeling. I very much get the feeling that it's going to sell off. Either way, we're going to wait. We'll have a little worse entry here if we're going to wait till the 12, 14 area to get kind of some confirmation back to the upside. Yeah, like I said, upon second look, that was definitely a bearish entry. I don't know what I was doing there. I mean, actually, to be honest with you, both of these looked like a bearish entry. I don't know. Let's see. Is that traded back into the 11? Yeah, I should have definitely waited for a little more confirmation there. That's all right. Let's see if we can't chip away at it. Let's see if we can't chip away at it. Yeah, selling back down into that 45.38 level. Potentially. I don't think the ES will take the low, but I could at least get to that 36 area there on the ES. Let's see if we can't participate here on this move down. Be a relatively short stop on it there at the 10. Try to get this sell through that whole number there. If we lose that whole number, let's just kind of see what happens there. See if we sell back into that 80 area, potentially. All right, well, we'll see what happens here. Kind of risking 100 here for potential $600 move, so I like this, the look of this a little better. Whether or not it gets all the way down in that 85 area, who really knows? We'll find out. It's a nice thing about futures. You can switch your bias instantly. If we lose that 700 level, I think we start selling there, but who knows? I'm kind of into this move pretty late, with a couple of misreads already, so don't be shocked if we get stopped. Trying to tickle our stop here. Just watching here to see what happens. This could just be putting in a lower or a higher low here, but see what kind of reaction we get to this level. Should get this sell back down here, but this is going to kind of be the tipping point. See, I wouldn't even be in danger of getting stopped here if my entry. That's the thing. You can always say, woulda, shoulda. Was originally short there at the 14, thinking we'd sell off, and then changed my bias after I took the entry. Well, we're just going to let it sit there. If we get stopped, we just get stopped. After all, only risking 100 there, so. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world. Got quite a few misreads lately, though. All right, not loving the look of this now, to be honest. The bad thing about it is, if I'd have had the proper entry there, stop would already be in the green. Feels bouncy here. Yeah, because I really should have been short up here at the 711, or even the 714 area was a good entry there. It sold down to the 701. Let's just kind of chip away at it. I mean, we're down 577, but it's not the end of the world. See if this thing pops back above the VWAP there. Gets going back to the upside. Held that bottom gap there. Held it. I'm going to be on the wrong. I've been on the wrong side like 4 times. I've shorted twice. Or 3 times, and I longed twice, and I've been wrong each time. All right, now looking a little more like a pop is coming here. If we're wrong again, then that just might be just the end of us there. Might just be the end of us. Funny thing is, kind of trying a new strategy, and I'm trying to mix it with other stuff, and it really just doesn't work that way. And that's kind of the problem. Trying to mix the two together. can't really mix the two together. You got to do one or the other, seems like. Because one kind of tells you one thing and the other tells you another, and got to get above that VWAP here to get back bullish. Well, need to get a pop out here. Get above that VWAP. I'm going to move my stop to where it probably needs to be. I think this thing may have faked me out once again. Let's see. It's got to get going right here. I wanted to see it hold that 07 level there. And just get above that VWAP and get to pushing here. I don't have the VWAP. Let's see where the ES is right quick. Okay, so the ES is kind of basing right there at the VWAP too. Trying to get back above it. If it gets above it there, I think we can start pushing. So hasn't offered us a huge move out of this gap yet. 704 to 710. I mean, I'd imagine we're probably at least get up into the 20s, maybe even into the 30s, potentially. See if we can kind of base above that VWAP and get to going here. Not quite strong enough through there yet. Want to get to pushing here. It would be nice to be able to have two contracts on here, but unfortunately, because the Top Step's daily loss limit, $1,000. We put two contracts on here and we're wrong, then we can't trade this account anymore today. So I would prefer to lock in a win, even though this won't get us back to even. Even if it trades through the high a day there. Still would be down a couple $100, but Got to get above this VWAP to get going here. It's got to get going if it's going to go. There's a little spike. A little spiky poo. See it break this kind of swing high here at 18 and keep going. Yes, making it above the VWAP finally there as well. Let's see it make it above this 23 area next. Well, obviously we got to break 18 first, but if we break 18 and then we make it above this 23, 24 area, then I would imagine that we would make it to the high a day. Hey, Joe. Morning. I'm doing okay, just not trading very well. Such is life, though, right? I just, I don't know, mentally just mess with my own head. You can see here, I entered short first thing this morning. That would have paid 14, you know, on my target's 10 handles, so what I got paid there, entered short again, or long, changed my bias to long, entered long, lost 200, entered long, lost another 200. Then took another long here, didn't trust it, traded back down and bounced out of there, so, and now we're long once again. So just been on the wrong side of things, trying to mesh two trading strategies together, and that just doesn't work. Need to pick one and stick to it there. Let's get this 18 break here. I think we at least trade up into the 23 area. Whether we go higher than that's kind of the question here. So we'll make a decision when we get to that point, what price action's looking like. But so far, looking pretty strong. Misread it in 6 different directions. Hard to do, but I mean, you can see price actually offered us 2 or 3 entries right here off this, but like I said, kind of meshing 2 or 3 two strategies together, and that's not how you do it. All right, let's see. Move my stop up now. Reduce some risk. Want to see another bounce off that 12 or 13 area if it comes back to it. Doesn't have to, but I'd like to see another bounce there. There we go. Push through 18 now. Get through that 18 level, we can move the stop to break even at that point, and it'll be a risk-free trade. All right, we broke that swing, so now we can go to break even here. So can't lose, but looking for more. Come on, you got more. Like I said, we're going to be watching that 22 area to see how this kind of reacts there. It's potentially kind of a turn down area. So we are going to lock in the 200 here. And I want to see a straight push, just a straight push right through there. Come on, pierce that 23, 24. That's okay. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that. Like I said, I'm not 100% sure how it's going to react to this 22, 23 area. It's kind of a potentially turn back down zone, really. You can see over here on the 1 minute chart kind of what I was thinking. Now, it might make it through there. Very well might. But you have a couple of volume imbalances here with this furthest fair value gap and a little order block there. So that's kind of an area of resistance. So this could turn back down and offer us another entry. We may take it. But just locking in a winner there. Unfortunately, we're kind of, you know. If you go back, rewind the stream, what did we say at the beginning? Short-term bearish. That's exactly what I said right here. And long-term kind of buy, long-term, I'm thinking that we move up ultimately. But so we just didn't trust our entry here, which was valid. Could have got 10 points in this direction. Then we could have waited for a little... over here on the 1 minute chart, you would have had a bullish entry because breaking structure here, right? Broke this little swing high. Trades back down into this gap. Whoop! Straight out of there. Should have been 2 entries here instead of, I don't know, what did I take? 6? 8. Well, not really 8 entries because it's counting the 1 entry that I had multiple. I think that one short I had 3 contracts on right here. Yeah, 3. So it counts those as 3 individual trades. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I really take 7? Oh no, this is the same trade. I took the first contract up here and I added 2 more on. So that's 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we did take 6. 6 trades there. Should have just been 2. So like I said, we did a decent job here at picking out this kind of resistance area. You can see we're pulling back. Doesn't mean we can't continue higher. But I'm just not willing to hold that through this sort of pullback, if you will. I'd rather it pull back, offer me a re-entry, than ride it back up. Possible pullback into maybe the 14 area, maybe even down to that 13 on the 3-minute chart here. Created another little gap. There's one on the 1 minute there as well. So yeah, this looks simple enough, and I don't know, I misread it, as I've been doing lately. Struggling with my trading a little bit, but that's okay. I mean, we all struggle from time to time. So it did create one up here. I mean, you could potentially re-enter here. Stop would be in the 13s, so really like a 4-handle stop, 5-handle. Hmm. And I show you guys what I'm looking at off stream here. So this is kind of the open here at 3 o'clock. So you see at 3 o'clock, this is why I confused myself. So I took this short, right? 306. And then, this bounced out here. The idea here is if the white one comes out of the black one, the white band crosses the black band, then that's just bullish. So you'd be entering long at 710. You don't sell. I mean, you could take 5 handles there, but you're not, you don't sell until the band kind of crosses back across it, cross back into it. So then you would be getting short there at 14. But that's kind of what scared me here. This is telling me it's a short. This was telling me a long. Then it flipped to short, 711. But then we had the VWAP here. So I was like, maybe we bounce, right? So if you get short at 711, it trades down to 701. You get your 10 handles. Trades back into it again. And then this is the most recent trade that I took. So you get long there at about 708. We got in at 709. And then you would hold it. You could stay long until this band disappears back behind here. And the idea is I would have put my stop at 705. Well, actually, 706. And I would just leave it at 706 and then put my take profit wherever I wanted it to be. So if I wanted it to be 31, it'd be up here. As long as the band stays out of the black, you're still bullish, as you can see here. But since I took some losses, first thing, I didn't want to hold it. I didn't want to hold it back through, maybe going back to break even, because that's always a possibility there. See how I traded back down to the 14? I need to pick a strategy and stick with it. This is the one that I'm liking. I'm using during the New York session right now, and I'm really starting to kind of zone in on it and really like what it's doing, the entries that it offers. And it gives you pretty straightforward information. So again, I was trying to target high a day. This could go even higher, right? And this kind of gives you that idea. Once you get a little separation here between the bands, it's like a pretty good look. This is most certainly going to push. And this is why I was saying I could have taken a re-entry once it traded back to the midpoint here. But the white stayed out of it. As soon as you see the kind of green, the green hammers kind of coming out of there, you can see start off with a small, little bigger, double the size. You would re-enter here. So re-enter at 17 for another push-up. Could have got 10 handles again, but I didn't take it. So it's kind of what I've been looking at off stream there. If you're wondering, this is TradingView, obviously. 10-second chart. Really liking it. Trading these crosses. I mean, they're not as clean in the after hours, but they're very, very clean in the New York session. So you can see we're getting a little separation here between the two bands, even though the price is pulling back. Kind of gives you a confidence to stay long there. And again, we were long from 09, right? From down here. So as this band moves up, you just keep your stop at the bottom of the band, maybe 1 point below it. So stop right now would be at the 15. So we would already be locking in 6 or 7 handles with the potential to continue higher. So that's kind of the idea there. And you don't really care if it trades back out of the band to the downside because it's going to stop you out for profit, right? You just keep trailing the stop up at the bottom of the band. And we did that to some degree there, but once we got to $200 in profit, we just locked it in. So we sold at 20, traded up 28 so far. You can always second guess yourself, obviously, in hindsight, but kind of like the, been kind of testing this for the last 4 or 5 days, kind of liking it so far. Haven't done great with it yet, but yesterday I kind of think I finally figured out the sweet spot with it. But trying to, pair this with the silver bullet or whatever, it just doesn't work together. You can't do that because one's going to be telling you to do one thing. Again, silver bullet says short here, and this pops out of here. Scared me. I closed it because I saw this, and then it ended up going the way I wanted it to go. So you just can't pair the two. I got to pick one, like what I'm going to trade for that session, and just kind of stick to it. But I did use this for the entry for the push back up. So you can see as soon as it popped out right there, kind of gave me a little, I waited for a little confirmation, got in at the 0975 once I saw it pop out there, show itself. Tried to dip back in there, but then it came out. And that's right where that VWAP was. So it took a little second to get out of there. You can just see. So now my stop would be all the way up at 17. We were long from the 09s. So I'll be locking in 8 handles here. You can take profit whenever you want. You just wait for the next move. The next potential re-entry. If the trend's up, take your re-entry here. That's kind of the idea. You guys haven't already, hit that like button for me, subscribe. Feel free to speak in the chat there. Keeps me awake. ES up into the 40s. High overnight 43.25. It made it up to 42.75. Probably going to take the highs as well. You see why I kind of like this, because there's no reason to even take profit yet. Stops at 19 at this point. We're locking in 10 handles. I just displayed a little more patience, but kind of gun shy this morning after taking these, losers. After taking these losers, approaching that 30 level now. And my take profit originally, I was thinking the, high a day, but so could have had an extra $200 there, but hey, what can you do? There you go. Spiking through the high a day. Still got more to go. There's still more to go here. Now your stops up here at 1950. And this is I'm liking this because this is going to give me confidence to kind of stay in bigger moves longer. Obviously, 38 from 09, that's almost 20 handles, or 30 handles, almost 30 handles there. So I could just take it there at 30, or we can try to let it ride for a bigger and bigger move. That's the thing. Stop would be at 20 now, so you'd lock it in 11. If it trades out the bottom, then you're looking for a short. Pretty simple concept. Now I'd probably, obviously you see I took profit here, and then if I re-entered there at the 15, well actually it'd been like 17. Yeah. You re-entered at 17, you got another 20 handles on that move there. Stop could be at 21 here if you think it's going to go higher. You got to start trusting these, these strategies and just stick to them. ES kind of double top there. Didn't quite get to that 43 and a quarter. It stopped at 43. So I feel like we still have more to go here. Might trade up into that 50 area. As I don't see the ES leaving that high there. Feels bad that I just only took $205 out of this move, but that's what happens. Just kind of wanted to lock in a small winner here so that we got an opportunity to still get this account back to even. So one more move like this during the New York session and we'll be there. I wanted to, if I'd had more room, I wanted to put 2 contracts on, and I could have taken one off here and then let the other one kind of go. Just put it at break, just trail it up on the stop there. Just curious to see how high this goes, if it can make it up to the 50 or not here. That's kind of what I'm thinking. ES pulling back to the 42 here. I'll say, is the ES frozen? And it was stuck at 42.25 for like a minute. Looks like the ES is going to kind of base around this area. I don't know if it's going to take that high day or not. Might just leave in a proper double top. You can see your stop would be up at 25.50 now from 09. So you'd be locking in 15, 16 handles at this point. Even if you were long from the 17 here. Still locking in, 8 handles. Now, I don't like how this is pulling back strong like this. So that's kind of the end of the move. Looks like, I mean, it could bounce. We'll see what happens here. See how it reacts to the bottom area here. So just kind of building energy for our next move up. I'm going to tell you right now, if I do enter here, this is going to be much more risky of an entry if we take a long. Get a little sell back down a little deeper than you would like. Just kind of trading here below. And of course, you'd be stopped out on your long here. You didn't take profit up there on that top. Selling off hard. Selling off hard here. So now we would be looking for kind of a retest here. Something like that. Let's target a quick 5 or 6 handles here. Stop 29. Give it a little bit of room here. I'm going to go to break even just because, you know, I don't want to give anything back. Let's see if this thing will push down quick. If it's just going to tap me and stop me out. It's going to go. I'm just not trusting it for whatever reason. The trend's up, so I was thinking that I might get a kind of a lightsaber move down for my feel right there, but you know what? What the heck? Let's see if this thing retraces up to that midpoint. Let's take the short here. We'll just take it and risk it here. 28, 29 will be the stop. We should get 22. That should be 5 handles. All right, can't lose now. We just take 40. Just kind of scalp our way out of here, I guess, a little bit. Even though I'm quite certain I'm probably leaving quite a bit on the table here. That VWAP touch looks imminent. Probably could have just put an order there at 12. VWAP touch is kind of calling its name there. So anyways, you can kind of see how that works. Hey, enumerating ruminations. Appreciate the subscription there. Just saw that. Probably mispronounced that, but problem with this sort of kind of scalping setup is here, it makes me want to sit here all day and do it. That's not a good idea. Like I said, I'm not as trusting in this in the after hours unless it's like a big move, but seems to be doing okay tonight in the London session. I think it's the first time I've really used it in the London. You can see the reason here, the trend's pretty well up. I mean, we are kind of V'ing back down, but that's why I'm not in love with it. But I do think ultimately this sells down. The VWAP area would be a good area to kind of target. Probably going to offer another opportunity here for an entry, but we won't be taking it. This is kind of considered a retest. I mean, that close, really. There's a true retest. We pretty much cut it in half, though. We were down almost, I think, 579. I think that was the low. Down 335 now, so yeah, 245, 250. Not quite half of it, but close. You can always go back and look and say, oh, if I hadn't have done this or if I hadn't have done that. But the truth is, I took that small scalp before the stream. Then this short entry here, which I was thinking of riding down for 10 handles, would have worked. Instead, we took $290 in losses there. Then we tried to take another short entry. Took a loss there. So we lost three times. No, I'm sorry. These are longs. Long. 3 long entries that we lost on. Then we took another long entry, 4th long entry, and we won there. It happens. What can you do? A little retest there. A lot of times with this strategy, probably after hours, I would just be targeting, like 5 handles, 4 or 5 handles, quick ins and outs. You could take your 5 handles off the breakout from the straight break from it. I guess if you got 24 and a quarter, it went down to 20. Could have just scalped 4 points there. Could have got back in at 24 again, went down to 17. Could have got another 4 points, 22. 19. It's 3 points at this point, but probably going to sell back down. So, you could be in and out several times here. Just locking in profit as you go, or you could try to hold it, like I said, longer, for as long as this thing kind of continues to stay out of it. So if you got short at 21, your stop right now would be 25, still risking just 4 handles. Well, actually, you would be short from 24. Stop would be at 24.75. 25. So you'd only be risking 1 handle for a potential move, bigger move. It's kind of the idea. Of course, it could just pop back and stop you out, but you're risking 1 handle at this point, right? I mean, it could really just even be a break even at this point. And just be a free trade. We didn't play it that way, as you can see. We did sell at 24. 24 even, so almost could be at break even right here. You really could just be at break even. A lot of different ways to trade. Just got to find what works for you and just kind of go with it. What is it? 4:24 in the morning and I'm hungry. I guess that's not a good thing. 4 o'clock in the morning and I'm hungry. But I don't know if I've told you guys in the London session, but I'm on a diet trying to get back to 200 pounds. And when I came back from vacation, I weighed 279.4. You guys may not care, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I weighed 279.4 8 days ago and weighed in yesterday morning at 268.4. So, lost 11 pounds in 7 or 8 days there. 1,500 calories a day. Just doing the intermittent fasting. Not eating past 8 p.m. and not eating until past noon the next day. So, taking a little, whatever that is, 16 hours. 16 off, 8 on, that type deal. 2 meals. I've been doing great at it. I've done that before. I was 287 pounds when I started before. In about 6 months, I got down to 214 and then just kind of fell off the wagon. Went back up to 293. And now I'm at 268. So still a long way to go, but the hardest part is just getting started, right? That's the hardest part. Once you get your body into the routine, it's easy. But just getting started for me is the hardest part. ES bled back down to that 20 SMA at that 45.40 area. The ES did not take out the high, which leads me to believe this thing is going to go back for those highs. But right now, this short's playing out nicely. As you can see, nice little retest here. Like I said, could have got short there again. 22, 5, 6 handles. So I mean, you know, this offering you 4, 5, 3, 3, 5. You know, like it's just offering you several different opportunities. Or you could just take one entry and look for the bigger move. You know, it's a couple different ways to play it. I find that if you take these small, you know, 3, 4, 4, 4, you do miss the bigger move. So if this thing sells off 40, 50 points in one shot, which happens quite often on the NQ, you just kind of miss that. But if you're in on it, then you don't miss it. Ideally, I guess you would take your full size, maybe 2 or 3 contracts here at the first entry. Maybe take one off at a certain profit target, 8, 10 handles, and then try to let the other one run, because it could be, you know, your stop would be at break even right now, or even 1 point in profit. You can just see how far it can go. Haven't really gotten any separation to the downside yet from those 2 bands, so Don't know how strong this move will be to the downside. That's kind of your sign, right? Start seeing some separation. Gives you the idea that, you know, you're going to have a more of a violent move. This move down doesn't seem all that violent, so yet could be. Looking like that VWAP touch is incoming right there at the 12. If you guys are new here, I do stream 5 days a week, London and New York. Not doing too great this morning. Just kind of misread the open there. Well, didn't misread the open. I was correct in my analysis at the open. Short here from 14. Just thinking we moved back down into the 700 level, which we did, 701. But I changed my bias and switched to long and took some losers. And then, yeah. So the short would have played, and then the long, I did take a long here for a little winner. And a couple little small shorts. I moved my stop faster than I'm supposed to. Starting to get a little separation here. So we may get this pushed down through the VWAP, potentially. I'd probably be taking profit at the VWAP, though, but if I were in this. But I could just sell right through there. The reactions to the VWAP are not as great, I've noticed overnight. You guys notice that too? I don't know if you're using the VWAP or not. Reactions there aren't as good. Doesn't give you the resistance and support that you normally get. I mean, it does some. I just don't feel like it's as strong. I think we may get that bounce right there off of the the VWAP. Oh. I'm looking around over here. Everybody appears to be asleep. I guess most normal people are asleep at this time, huh? Especially if you're on the East Coast of the United States. I'd imagine most of my viewers probably are not in the U.S., but, or at least during this hour. I'm assuming you guys are overseas somewhere. Maybe. Or not necessarily overseas, but you get what I mean. So didn't quite make it to the VWAP there, and we're already bouncing. I wouldn't be in love with this. Don't think I'd take this short. Like I said, the ES kind of left those relatively equal highs, so maybe those are going to go get taken out. ES is moving up here pretty rapidly. Rapidly towards those highs. I'd probably be covering my position if I was short once this came back to this midway point here. I mean, it could just sell back down, but that's kind of an interesting move there on the ES. Like, it just wicked up. I mean, it took off from the 21 and a quarter, moved up to 42.75. I know that didn't sound like much, but on the ES there, it's a pretty big move. How's it going, Nasdaq trader? Europe. Bubba, I'm in Georgia. Nasdaq trader London session is slow. Yeah, you're not lying. I mean, it's not, you know. Oh, I ripped out my thing here. My cord got caught. It's definitely not ripping off 40, 50 point moves, but still offering some moves. You can get those 10, 20-point moves. I mean, you can see right here on this entry from the '09, we traded up to the 38. Now, obviously, I didn't take it that far. So the ES, that was odd. Odd kind of price action there on the ES. Look at this. This wick. Just wicked up. Kind of came back down and repainted that imbalance. And then left another imbalance here, which is not that odd during this hour. You find it good because it always seems to fill gaps. Yeah, you're not lying there, Bubba. And that's the thing about the overnight, the London. You know, when you zoom out, you know, you had that huge pump up. And then I guess we sold back off. Huge pump up into close this afternoon. And then just whoop, sold right back off. And then pumped out of there, made a new high for the overnight. Almost back to the high from the New York there. Kind of holding up here at the VWAP. I was expecting it to go a little lower. Maybe touch the VWAP, but it did not. It's trying to move higher here. Like I said, the ES did leave those relatively equal highs there, so they may want to go take those out. And then there is that liquidity resting up here from this high. So potentially trade back up into that 40 area going into open tomorrow. We'll see. Could have taken that little V entry off of the VWAP there, but we want a little more confirmation here that maybe it's heading in that direction again. If you guys haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. Helps the channel. We appreciate it. This could just be a bit of a fake out here to the upside, but ES probably going to trade back into that 41 area base there. See if it can't move up from there. It's at 41.50 now, so just a couple of ticks to go. Couple of ticks to go. Wow. Trading back out there. Is it going to give a proper test of that VWAP? I'm not 100% convinced. So let's just wait and see. Not convinced of the short here. And that's why. So if you were short from here, you'd certainly be stopped out there, but in the profit. If you were short from the 24, stopped you out for 4 handles if you were just trailing it down. Like I said, I didn't think this was going to be a huge move down because we never really got any separation here in the two bands. So I wasn't really given the feel of any energy, you know, going down there. Probably can look at the volume. You see in that move up, we had much higher volume here. Well, on this move down, not a lot of volume. And then once we started moving back up, the volume kind of spiked again. So potentially going to take a long here. Pop it out of there. Gonna wait for a little bit of a retest of it here if we get it. You can see that band, that backside band kind of popping out there now. So I want to see a little bit of a retest here, and then we'll try to enter long. And so you could take the entry for the pop out here once one prints. Could have got long there at 20 for a quick little pop up. Take a little scalpy. I just like to wait to get a little confirmation. How long have I been trading Nasdaq Trader? Less than a year. I'm relatively new at this. So about, let's see, what's this month? We're in July. I think I started September or October of last year, so 8 or 9, about 9 months maybe, something like that. Kind of hit that a little late, but it's fine. So stop should be at about 18. We're just going to target 5 quick handles here, see if we can get it. So I'm long from 23. Really should have been long there at like the 21, 22 area. Didn't quite get the feel that I wanted. I should have put a limit order in there, but that's all right. So risking 100 here. A little quick 1-to-1. Quick 1-to-1. ES at 42.50 trying to push up. What's going on, Nutty? Up with the kid. That's never a good look. Hopefully the kid's not sick or anything. Usually when they're up in the middle of the night, that's what happens. Trying to get this push up to the 28 here, Nutty. Yeah, I'm not going to give up Nasdaq Trader. Kind of, you know, like I said, there's, as anyone can attest to, with trading, there's trials and tribulations. But I'll move my stop up here to 19 now, since the gap is at 19. So risking $80 here. give us this little push up here. ES is trying to bust through those highs. No, you think he had a bad dream, just needs to be held. Nice looking chart on the right. Yeah. This is the one I was telling you about. So I had some misreads this morning. I initially woke up and thought, well, when I looked at the chart, I said short. We're going to take a short back kind of into the 700 level, and I entered short, and then wasn't really in drawdown, just didn't trust it. Took the trade off, and then, of course, it went short. And what did I do? I longed it twice, and then longed it again for a little profit. You can see I left a bit on the table there. And then we took a couple scalpies here, but now we're in the this area where I'd like to just see this thing go. You've been playing with it. Yeah, I mean, like, I think I'll kind of walk you through what I'm looking at here, but I kind of wasn't really sure on how to make sure, kind of get confirmation. So I've been doing these retests. So when it breaks down here, originally I was just entering on the breakout, and that would get faked out sometimes. But if you wait for the retest, so you let the band come out from behind there, and then you get in on the retest. So we got short here at 24. And then as the band moves down, you move your stop down the bottom of the band or the top of the band with it, right? So if you got short at 24 and you held it, stop would have been at 25 before it kind of traded back into it. And you could have taken profit all the way down here at 13. So you could have taken multiple entries, as it kept tapping the band. You could have re-entered if you wanted to, but I'm looking for longer holds now. It's kind of what I'm looking for. Not on this after hours play, but in general. I want to see some separation here to the upside. But I just keep moving my stop up as the band moves up. So, because if it trades out the bottom of the band, we're not interested at that point. And I'm just keeping it one tick below the band. So the band's at 20, so it stops at 1975. It just keeps reducing risk, keeps giving you the opportunity to kind of move in the direction you want it to go. Push on in there, push it on up, which I'm going to go ahead and just lock in break even here. It's not the way you're supposed to play it, but that's what we're doing. We want it to go here. In fact, we'll lock in $20. Hey, $25. We'll take it. I'm not as confident in it overnight here, especially when we don't get this separation. You see how it's just kind of hugging it. Want to see some separation between the two for this move up to the moon. But it's played out pretty well here. This earlier was the move that I entered on. And I entered on the retest here. I think I got in at 09. Yeah, 09. So we had this retest here and popped back out the second time. And I entered there at 09.75. Took a little drawdown to 07.50. But then you can see separation. Tested it again. Could have re-entered there. Nice separation, and you just trail your stop up below the band. Could have got a nice 30-ish points out of that, but I took 10. Story of my life. Story of my life. So I don't want you to think this negative 315 reflects on the band, because it doesn't. I was kind of meshing a couple strategies together there. And see, we didn't get that separation. That's why I moved my stop up quickly there. Because it still could go. But I don't like that we didn't get any separation and the ES failed to make a new high there, triple topped. You kind of compare it to the ES there. I mean, a triple top there. Boom. So saw you had a Green Day nutty. I don't remember if I commented on your video. I think I did. I watched most of your stream yesterday, just kind of while I was streaming. Caught most of it. Seen that it was a much more friendly stream than you've been dealing with the last few days. Which, speaking of streaming, we're live for much longer than I intended this morning. That's kind of the problem with this here. So you can see my intuition was kind of right there. Double top or triple topped on the ES. And yeah. Not really a high volume move. Back up. You can see how the volume is kind of just meh. So low volume move, easy to kind of flip it in the other direction. Small green, small size. Yes, way less trolls, thankfully. Yeah, hey man, small green doesn't matter. The thing is, it looked like you had some nice winners in there. And with one, I mean, $30 with one micro. It's pretty good. What is one micro like? 1/5, I think. Something like that. So it would have been like 150 if you were on the minis there. I think. Is that right? I don't know. Something like that anyway. So trading back down here, ES kind of rejected that area there. I don't think I'm going to take a short here, though. If I were going to take it, now would be the time. But don't think I'm going to do it. So since I didn't take it, this thing's going to trade down to 700s, right? That's always the way it works. If you don't take it, it goes. 10%. Oh, okay, 1 of 10. All right, nice. So 1 micro is 50 cents a point, I guess is what you're saying then? Guess what am I thinking about then? I must be thinking about... Am I thinking about the ES? Maybe, I don't know. All right, well, that's much better then. Times the 30 times 10, it would have been $300. 2 accounts, $600. Not bad. If you guys are unfamiliar with Nutty, he live streams the New York session. He's trading 20 funded Apex accounts. We don't have the following Nutty has, but go give him a check. Check him out if you haven't, or if you're unfamiliar with him. Super nice guy, full transparency, shows all his entries, all of his exits, his balances, profits and loss. Nothing's hidden. Same thing I try to do as well. Same thing I try to do. Sometimes it's tough because, you know, you don't want to show those painful days. $2 a point. 50 cents per tick. Okay. I guess I should know those things, right? I don't really trade the micros, though. I always stick with the minis. I probably should trade the micros sometimes, especially it would help reduce this, right? $315 in losses, but it's all right. Now, I've been looking into Bullinox. I signed up for a couple of accounts. Have you? Are you familiar with Bullinox at all? Do you have any ideas there on them? Also, Ninja Trader. Oh my gosh, man! I'm trying to set that thing up. It's a nightmare. It's a complete nightmare. I have my my live funded account with Tradeovate, and whenever I log into Ninja, I guess Tradeovate, they're all in the same one in the same there. So it brings up my Tradeovate information, and it won't allow me. I can't figure out how to change the licensing to do the Bullinox account or even an Apex one. So they're very similar to Apex from what I saw. They got a 90% off code right now, so the accounts are like $18. And payout structure is pretty much the same. I think it's once a week instead of every 2 weeks. But you got to make trailing drawdown $2,500. You have to make $2,600 in profit once you're funded to kind of get going there. The one thing I did like, and the guys in Discord kind of told me this. Oddly enough, you can get funded in 1 day with Bullinox. So it says on the website that you have to trade for 5 days, I want to say. But let me see. I was going to kind of show it to you here. Yeah, it says that you got to trade for 5 days, but they're saying that you can submit it as soon as you hit the profit target. So like literally, if you hit it, can you only have one account? I don't know. It let me sign up for 2. I mean, maybe you're right. Well, anyways, they're saying that you can get funded in 1 day, basically. So if you pass the profit target in the first day, you can just go ahead and submit it for funding, as they actually have a form that you just fill out, price qualification request. You just fill it out and submit it. I'm not sure about the account thing. I'll have to ask. One funded. Well, I guess I shouldn't have signed up for 2. Probably should have looked at that before I did that. Not that I'll pass one, right? It'll probably take me more than one try anyway, but you never know. But yeah, the guys are using those. Well, I don't know because what is he using then? I'm going to have to ask. Let me go back and look here. So I'm curious because we have a guy. Let me see what he's using. Trayson. I don't know if you've been in there enough to see him. But he passed 4 evals yesterday. This is trying to sell off here. Looking a little better here. See how it retested the top there, though? I would have got stopped out. Now this looks a little more interesting. I don't know what he's trading, though. I don't know what prop firm he's using. He might be on Apex. Very well could be on Apex. I mean, like I said, it's very similar. The only thing I liked was the fact that they got that code for that 90% off right now, and Apex is only 80%. And I was like, well, they're pretty similar to one another. And you can also trade news with Bullinox, as far as I know. They don't care. Not that I need to be trading news, to be honest with you. It's burned me before, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I guess he doesn't say on here what he's using. Maybe I'll ask him tomorrow or later today at this point. Have you taken any overnight trades, Nutty? After hours? Wow, there we go, testing that VWAP. I wasn't even looking. Which wouldn't really offer me an entry yet anyway. I mean, I could have taken the entry once it's sold here. But testing that VWAP, let's see what happens here. Getting a little separation. Maybe we get a little move back up. No trades for you? Not a bad idea. I shouldn't be taking trades after hours. Look at that. It's going. Kind of surprised that we got that little dump there. Didn't feel like we were going to get it. Kind of had the VWAP here. The ES is holding up. Could just be that top of the hour move, though, I guess. Moving into 5 a.m. here. All right, guys. Well, I think that's probably going to do it for me. I streamed for about an hour longer than I intended on. If you haven't already, hit that like button for me. Subscribe if you're not yet subscribed. And we'll be live again for the New York session at 9:30 this morning. Appreciate you guys watching. And we'll see you then, Nutty. Futures Trader, Bubba, all you guys, whoever was chatting, Joe. You have a great morning.